All right, boys. Are we live? Can you guys see me? All right, we're back. I apologize about that. Is the audio good? I tried testing it. I had to shut down the program again. I don't know why it does that. Occasionally, it'll throw me for a loop, and it's a pain in the ass. But audio is all right. All right, guys. While we wait for everyone to come back in here, I have a bone to pick with all this free agent news and whatever. If you've seen some of the fake news about Jack Conklin or Joe Thuney guaranteed to go to the Jets, they're already planning to sign with the Jets. It's a little bit of hooey. There we go. We're getting some more people back in here. And we're back. A lot of buffering. Joe S., is it me buffering or is it you buffering? Because it says I have an excellent connection. So check yourself. Anyone else? Are you experiencing any buffering on this stream right now? Let me know. Shout out from Canada, biggest Jets fan, Simon K. What's up? Phone time. Oh, you want to do the phone time already? I see. I see how it is. I'm going to try. I think I'm going to plug the headphones in because I don't think it's the headphones that are the issue. I think it's operator error. I think it's something with this program. Let's see. Before I jump over to the phone lines, I would like to just gonna test this real quick. Right, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna jump over to the phone lines in just a second. But yes, I would not. Here are my takes, real short and sweet. I'm not trading for Trent Williams. I would love to take CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy. That's the only way you could possibly get me on board with taking Trent Williams on. And I don't think I would even do that. I really don't I do not like. Thank God I chose to watch this instead of Monday Night Raw. Well, I'm glad you chose to do this as well because generally this stream is it's probably not more entertaining, but I like talking to you goons. Let's see. Let's open up the phone lines. Before I open up the phone lines, though, if you have not answered our question of the day, down in the description down below, in January 1969, the New York Jets defeated the Baltimore Colts 16-7 to win Super Bowl III. I didn't wind up putting the rest of the question on there in the Discord, but which stadium was that game played in? Link to the description or link to the Discord down below. Go into the Discord, head to the poll section, answer that question, and it'll get yourself entered to win a shirt, a hat, a mug, something like that from my Jets Talk store. I'm going to raffle that off at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned if you want a chance to win. Because if you don't watch, you're never going to know. You're going to have no idea. Audio's perfect. It just gets me all sorts of jazzed up. All right. Let's open up the phone lines so I can hear what you guys want to say. I'm just going to get the Google Voice up. See what we got going on. All right, and the phone number is coming up on the screen. Is the merch Jets? Brandon Neiman. Go to jetstalk.com and let me know what you think of the Jet stuff, because it is all Jet stuff. It's all Jets Talk stuff. Some of it's Jet Discord stuff, but check it out.
Call from
Vinny.
Oh, my boy Vinny, what's up, dude?
What's up? By the way, who goes to LaGuardia?
Look, right? No one goes to LaGuardia. I saw a post.
The only good thing LaGuardia has done is help give the Jets their nickname.
Dude, so here's what happened. I was in the city. I don't think it was Saturday. I think it was this. I went in for the Ranger game. By the way, I don't know if you guys are Ranger fans at all, but I saw the 5-goal game in MSG against the Capitals, and I was going bananas. It was my first hockey game I've ever been to, and it was so exciting. It was a blast. Anyway, I've only been to college
hockey games.
So get this, Vinny. I was in the city, and to talk about, LaGuardia, there was a big poster, huge, 100-foot tall poster that said, "I love you so much, I would pick you up from LaGuardia." I was like, this is a great line. I would never fly out of LaGuardia. I've flown out of JFK for long distance stuff.
Once.
Long
it was
distance.
a nightmare.
I'm a Newark guy. I'm on the Jersey side. I'm never going. I try not to go to those.
No. So I used to fly to Florida to visit my dad.
Yeah.
So we started going to JFK. Then one year we went to LaGuardia. It was a nightmare. And fortunately, we just went to a local Westchester County National Airport. So tiny, you snap your fingers, you're already through baggage claim, and you're already through the security. And I'm just sitting there waiting for my flight. It was the best day of my life we ever found that airport. But let's get back onto the Jets.
Let's talk about it. What's on your mind?
By the way, seriously, you came up with that question?
Look, I got to come up with some easy softballs. It's really just a way for me to get people into the Jets Discord community to have a little bit of fun. I'll ask you. No better question. We're doing this one tonight. I already got a bunch of people commented on. I got we got 10,
all right,
12, 14. We got 15 people already responded.
I agree with you completely on Trent Williams. No, we need to maintain our draft capital.
I agree.
We need to get younger, not older, and like I said, besides, it's too much. It's like you're gonna give up too much, and you're not gonna get much. And he's on the back end of his career anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I looked at the last 3 years of his career, not including last year. We're ignoring last season.
He didn't play.
Yeah, but so I'm a big Pro Football Focus guy, and it's not a be all end all by any means because they have things that are wrong.
I know because there's sometimes really weird. Like I was watching. I remember this one video they did where they said that somehow Dwayne Haskins was better than Daniel Jones.
Oh my God! Okay, that's a terrible take. I can definitely. There's things I can get on board with.
Trust them.
Yeah, I use it as a judgment.
They somehow still think the Patriots are good.
It's just they get bonus points for having Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. That's what it is. Let's be honest.
All right, but but as you were saying,
So, what was I gonna say? I was saying, help me out here.
You were looking at his stats through Pro Football Focus over the last few years.
I was looking at his stats over the last 3 years, and so what are we in? Last year was 2019, so it would be 18, 17, 16. So from 16 each year. 16, 17, 18. He was in the 90s on Pro Football Focus. Then he went down to the 80s. Now I think I want to say 2018 or 2019 he was in the high 70s. And then he didn't play last year. So you're talking about a guy who had a brain tumor, had surgery on this cancerous brain tumor, missed a year, was already declining 3 times. You're going to have to give him a top contract. He's already getting paid a top 10 left tackle. He's getting, if the Jets trade for him, it's $12.5 million.
It doesn't sound like a viable option.
It makes no sense. Now, the Browns have Bill Callahan as their offensive line coach. It makes way more sense for him to go there. They have cap space.
I don't think it makes more sense for them because they're more built to win now. They're more
agreed.
Built, so I think it makes more sense to them because it's like adding the final pieces to the puzzle where, we have a lot of holes in the jigsaw puzzle that need to be put in place.
Look, that's totally true, and I don't see the Jets as a viable option for this. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to say it. I'm going to beat it to death, and if the Jets wind up getting him, look, I'm going to root for him. But I just think it's a bad move. I think it's a bad move if the Jets get him. I think Jason Peters makes way more sense for a 1-year stopgap.
Yeah, I totally agree with it. Also, I was going to say, because I was watching Matt's podcast.
Yeah, how was that? I didn't get to listen to it yet.
No, so all right. So he's talking about how how the deep wide receiver draft class has potentially dropped, has pretty much tanked Robbie Anderson's value.
I love it. I hope we get him back. I would love to get Robbie back.
Oh my God, think about David. You compare him the one guy I see as always being linked with right now.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Hendricks, I see in every mock draft that I see is Pittman out of USC.
Oh yeah, of course, because he's got that 1 year linked with Darnold. So if you could take Pittman in the 3rd round, and you can take tackle and center,
50-50. Yeah, he could be your, I guess
he's a big guy.
He'd be the deep threat, and then he'd be the big number 1 guy.
He can high point it. Now I would have a very hard time passing on a receiver. I think in the 2nd round, I would definitely double dip though. You could convince me to go left tackle at 11, wide receiver at 48, and then go Pittman, Pittman maybe in the high 3rd, or a center in the high 3rd, and then go with another wide receiver. I could double dip and be fine. I think we're going to need some help, but I would look if we could get Mims or Justin Jefferson in the 2nd round. That would be incredible. I've been saying I would take.
I think the biggest problem. I think we need to emphasize offense this offseason because I think we can make minor tweaks to the defense, and I think Greg will be able to keep it competitive.
That's what I think.
I think if we can invest enough resources in our offense, the majority of I'd say about maybe 75% of our off-season resources in our offense, I think we can be competitive enough to make next year interesting.
Well, not even just that. And Vinny, you got 10 seconds, so I'm going to boot you off. So I'll let you say something real quick.
All right. Go Jets.
Good stuff, Vinny.
You're out of here!
Look, I think if the Jets make the right picks, they make the right smart signings, and if they agree on a 7-team playoff, the Jets could get in. I think the Jets could get in. I don't think we're a top 6 team. I think we could get in as a top 7 team because, look, I think Sam Darnold is going to play better. There's no way you're not going to play better after having mono all year. Like, I'm sorry. They're going to be way healthier than last year. The chances of us being just as unhealthy are very slim. We were bad.
Call from
Jamal Johnson.
Jamal Johnson, what's up? Welcome to the cockpit.
Oh, what's poppin', bro?
What's on your mind?
I don't even know, bro.
Boom! Kicking you off. Clearly, you just wanted to call. That's all right. Yeah, no, look, I have a very hard time with this whole wide receiver thing and the whole what's going to happen with the Jets. Like, I think you got to go left tackle at 11. I would be very shocked if you didn't. I hope Trent Williams goes to the Browns. Because Trent Williams goes to the Browns, that's one more left tackle that's falling down to us. That could be Mekhi Becton. It could be Andrew Thomas. I would love either one of those guys. But now maybe I have to rethink it because Thomas has been falling down draft
to
boards.
accept, press 1.
What's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man?
Hanging in there. What's on your mind?
Well, I've been thinking about what they've been saying about Trent Williams, and I have to agree with you. He is not the best option for us.
Yeah, look, I think we have better options. And look, I'm not saying that he's not a good left tackle. He's played very well over the last, 3 years that he played. He's just, slightly declined in some capacity. And do I expect him to be better or at least as good for the next 4 years or whatever you're going to have to extend him on a contract for? He doesn't have any guaranteed money left, so he's going to want to re-up that contract. I just don't see it as a feasible option for the Jets.
I absolutely agree, man. Like, it's really hard to say, especially coming the fact that you're coming off a cancerous tumor, and that's kind of a risk right there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look, people get, cancerous cysts and things like that removed, or tumors or growths or whatever all the time, and you could come back, and there's a little part of me that wanted to include in my video, and I didn't do it, but the guy failed a physical because he couldn't get his helmet over his head. So, that's, sort of a red flag. Now, I also think that's probably a little tongue-in-cheek. I think he pulled an Antonio Brown and didn't want to play for the Redskins and was like, well, I can't pass a physical because I can't get the helmet on. He's like, meanwhile, he's trying to put it on backwards or, something stupid like that. I don't know. What do you think of the whole Quinnen Williams thing?
To be honest with you, not a smart move.
I'm just watching him what are you doing, dude? I'm not expecting a whole lot out of Quinnen Williams, but I would like to believe that given, I don't know, I would just not bring a gun to an airport. That's just not something I, think to do. If I'm going on a hunting trip or something like that, you probably have figured out everything along the lines beforehand. Quinnen Williams doesn't strike me as the hunter type. He looks like he's 12 years old. I don't know.
That's why they call him Babyface.
That's exactly it. He's Big Baby. He looks like Big Baby from the NBA. But, I guess now he's probably, 8 years younger than him or whatever. What's Quinnen Williams? He's got to be 22, 23 years old right now.
Around there.
Now, what do you want to do in the draft? Has your thoughts changed at all with some of the rumors that have come out over the last, 2 weeks?
As a matter of fact, yes. And to be honest with you, I really want to draft a tackle with the 11th pick. And I really want Becton. He's the perfect size. He's 6'7", 6'8", and that's the kind of protection Darnold needs.
He's huge. Yeah, I think he's 6'7", 365 pounds or 370 pounds. Guy's enormous. You cannot teach size. That is something that is a God-given gift. Now, I trust Joe Douglas to make the right call here because obviously he's got the offensive line. background. I think he's drafted some really good offensive tackles, or at least been a part of them drafting offensive tackles in Baltimore and in Philadelphia. Did you hear the rumor, or at least the what-if question that was posed? Would you trade for... Oh, the entertainer talking sports. What's up? Good to have you in here. Kind of cool. Got a few Giant fans in here. But yeah, would you trade... So there was a rumor kind of getting kicked around by fans. Would you trade for Alshon Jeffrey, who is on a terrible contract, an absolutely terrible contract, but take Andre Dillard, the tackle? Now, I don't know what you'd have to like give up in order to get that. Like, would you trade your 11th pick for their 21st pick? You fall back, you get the left tackle, you get a wide receiver. Now all of a sudden you're taking another player at 21. That's interesting to me. I think that's something that the Jets could at least ponder over. I don't think it's something that I would do, but like, there's got to be a red flag, right? Like, if you just take Andre Dillard last year in the draft, and all of a sudden you want to be like, oh yeah, no, screw that guy, let's throw him off to the side. Are they going to sign Jason Peters again? I want Jason Peters for the Jets because I think just that
I don't mind having Jason Peters. I mean, despite the fact that he's 38 years old and that's kind of old for a tackle, but
sure,
I think he's got like a year left in the tank.
Now, I don't know if the entertainer's still sitting in this chat right now, but if he is, Chris, I would love to do some type of collaboration. I wanted to talk about this whole Leonard Williams situation. So if you do want to do any kind of collaboration, I'm totally down for it. I have a lot of fun with this sort of stuff. But yeah, what?
You know, there was another thing I've been hearing, and I don't know if it's true or not, but
I've been
hearing something about Denver wanting to trade with us.
Really? So Denver trading up to 11 to get a wide receiver, you think?
Pretty much. That's what they're really looking for. And what I've been hearing, they really want Henry Ruggs.
Are they at 15? I want to say they might be at 15. Okay, I would definitely trade back. I have no problem trading back. The entertainer says, yes, we're going to do it. Cool.
And I'll be honest with you, if you want the 11th pick from us,
yeah,
you're going to have to swap and give us the 15th, and you're going to have to give us Von Miller.
Ooh, wow. Okay, so Von Miller's what, like 31 or 32? So he's getting up there in age, I think. I don't think he's not quite as young as he used to be. But
he's about to be 31, but you know what? At the same time,
he's still good.
He's got like 2-3 years left in the tank.
Hey, you could convince me to take on Von Miller and trade down if that was like a thing. I don't know if it would be, or maybe we'd have to take on one of their other players. But you got to give something that the Jets want. Like, what is worth? Let me see. Hold on. I'm going to look up right now what the draft trade value chart says that swap would be. So from 15 up to 11 would be... It is a difference of...
You can't go wrong with that, though, man.
It's the difference of 200 points, which is equivalent to like a mid-third round pick. So you're putting Von Miller's value at a mid-third round pick. I don't see it. I mean, now maybe they're just trying to unload some cap space. That would be interesting. Have you seen anyone actually bring that up?
There was one guy, I just forgot who it was, and he brought something like that up. And honestly, like, Von Miller still has 2 years left in that 6-year deal he got.
Ooh, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. To swap down to 15, I don't know if we'd have to give up something else. But, dude, you got 3 seconds. I love you. Thank you for calling in. Boom! You've been ejected from the cockpit. Jets don't need to take on bad contracts, says St. Peter Ellis. Look, the Jets are a bad team. We are not going to attract top-level free agent talents without overpaying drastically. The Jets are in a perfect position to take on a bad contract from a good player, from a team that wants to get that contract off the books. I would definitely do that. That's what the Jets should be looking for. It's almost like the Brock Osweiler deal when he got traded to the Browns. Browns got a first-round pick. The Jets should be doing this. There is no reason the Jets should not be doing this because we're not in a Super Bowl window right now. I mean, yeah, we're in a Super Bowl window because we're on Sam's rookie contract, but there's really no shot, I think, this next year for the Jets to really go to the Super Bowl. I mean, we'd have to hit on a lot of picks. And when you look at draft picks, first-round draft picks, there is a 50% chance of success. So you got a coin flip right off the bat. CeeDee Lamb, left tackle, whatever it is, you got a 50-50 shot of hitting on that. And with every like draft pick you go down the line, second round, third round, fourth round, the chances of that player sticking and becoming a legitimate contributor on your team is slim. It gets way small. Guys, if you have not joined the Jets Discord, there is a link in the description down below. Answer the question, of the day. I have in January 1969, the New York Jets defeated the Baltimore Colts 16-7 to win Super Bowl III. Where was that game played? Jump into the description down below in the Discord. Head down to the poll section. You get yourself a shot to win a shirt, a hat, a mug, something like that from the Jets Talk store. You guys get to choose what you want. I'm going to raffle that off at the end of the episode, right around 10 o'clock. So if you guys want to catch that and have a shot to win, I think we got close to 20 people that have actually voted in the poll so far. So you got a good shot at winning this thing. Definitely check it out. Guys, Trent Williams, I feel like this is the big topic for us tonight because we have a lot of issues with this whole thing. Look, he sat out because of a discrepancy with the medical staff. And when you're talking this medical staff and like how they misdiagnosed this cancerous tumor, the Jets had their own issues. Quincy Enunwa, I want to say Falk had an issue this year too. Same with Osemele. These guys are not going to talk favorably of the New York Jets and their medical staff. It's just not going to happen. And when you talk to Trent Williams' agent, now maybe he's just done with Washington. He just wants to be out of it, and it doesn't matter. Like, you know, he just wants the money, and he's fine with coming to the Jets. But you would think, if that's the excuse he's going to use, that you would definitely want to move on from these bad medical staffs. That's my take. Quinnen Williams, my take on that. This man should not have brought a gun to the airport. That is a very bad move. That is a big old dummy move. Now, I am a big fan of Quinnen Williams. The potential of Quinnen Williams. I have ate my words. I wanted Quinnen Williams last year. I was told, a ton of people told me that he was going to be the second coming of Aaron Donald. I want the second coming of Aaron Donald. If we're not going to get the second coming of Aaron Donald, we should have taken Josh Allen. And that's a real kick in the balls. And you know what? Honestly, the reason McKagan's gone, he gave a lot of money to a running back. He gave a lot of, not a lot of money, but a lot of asset given up to take Quinnen Williams. You pass on a pass rusher. Could have taken maybe Jonah Williams. He didn't play last year. I don't know. That didn't make sense to me. Wide receiver wise, who are the Jets going after? We're not going after Cooper. There's a lot of talk about Dak Prescott and the contract he's getting, and could Amari Cooper stay or is he going? I think Amari Cooper's staying. I think Dak's going to stay. If I was Dak, you know what I would do? This is the Jets Talk channel, but I'm going to talk a little Cowboys right now. I think Dak should take the franchise tag because they absolutely have the safest NFL careers outside of like punters and kickers. But one of the safest primary positions that's going to make you a buku amount of money. If I could I would do what Kirk Cousins did. I would be like, hey, Dak, at least take the franchise tag for this year. Definitely. Because they're going to redo this CBA, and I guarantee the players are going to get way more money. So the Cowboys are trying to lock Dak up before that CBA gets announced. And I think they're going to have to pay through the nose next year. And I know Giant fans and Eagles fans and Redskin fans are going to love this because they do not want to see Dak Prescott, or maybe they do. Maybe they do want to see Dak Prescott in the division, but they want to see the Cowboys pay out the nose. They want to make sure they are in cap hell. They cannot hold on to Amari Cooper. They cannot hold on to these offensive linemen that are so good. There's a lot of issues with this whole situation here. Now, you guys are talking wide receiver in the chat. All right, let's get into wide receiver. Perriman, look, guys, I've been on Rashad Perriman for a minute. I think he is faster than Robbie Anderson. I think he is stronger than Robbie Anderson. I think he is a better potential player than Robbie Anderson. I think Robbie has absolutely played better than Rashad Perriman right now at this point. And look, I want Robbie Anderson back. If I can get Robbie Anderson back on a $10, $11 million deal, like there's some rumors going around might happen. His value's tanked because this draft class is so good at wide receiver. Dude, I'm okay not paying Robbie a lot of money, but if he wants to come back for $11 million, I'll do that. I could do that. I would really like to keep Robbie Anderson. I think it's cool to have a homegrown talent like him. I just don't think he's worth that much money. Like, I think we could find other ones. If we just put down the choice that we had in the Discord, then we are in the raffle. Correct, Vincent. If you put down your vote in the Discord, you have to be correct, first off. But if you put your vote down in the Discord, I'm going to go through all the names, and I'm going to raffle it off. So I'm going to go through, like, I'm going to tell you, ask you guys to pick, like, 3 numbers, and I'm going to raffle off that number. I'm going to count down the list, and that's going to wind up being who wins the shirt, hat, or mug. Last week, who won last week? I think Jessica won last week, which I'm pretty sure 0.5% of people that watch my channel are females, which is a high thing for me. I didn't think that was a thing because Becca's probably, 0.3 of that. And I don't know. Kind of cool. You guys saying Robbie's gone. No way I pay Robbie. It's Miami, Florida. That's where he's thinking he's going. Look, I think I could definitely see him going to Miami. Reuniting with Fitzpatrick for a year, then playing with Tua or whoever they get.
From
Alex.
Alex, what's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hi.
What's on your mind?
How are you?
Not too bad. I'm hanging in there.
Okay, so what do you think about Josh Doxson?
Josh Doxson. Look, I'm not overly enthusiastic about it. I don't know if he's necessarily going to make the 53-man roster at the end of the year, but I think there's some high upside. I think it's a very low risk, probably mild reward. I'm not expecting anything grand out of him. I think he's maybe put up 500 yards, but look, you can use 500 yards. We lost Quincy Enunwa last year. If I'd had Josh Doxson and gotten 500 yards, I'd be pretty stoked. It's better than some of the stuff we have gotten. So I'm not going to completely crap on Josh Doxson, but I'm not excited by that move. Like, that signing does not change anything that I want to do in free agency or the draft. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What's your go on.
What about like Quincy Enunwa? Like, what do you think? Like, he's coming back?
I don't know. There's a weird clause in his contract that has it's a weird clause in his contract where his money is guaranteed for injury. So I'm curious to see if he cannot pass a physical by I think it's like the 3rd or the 5th day of the new league year, his injury guarantee kicks in and it's guaranteed. So he may have to be on the Jets for next year unless he can pass a physical and we can cut him. Or maybe we could just cut him and that clause is only if he's actually on the roster. Because I would move on from him. I don't think Quincy Enunwa is worth the amount of money that he's going to get next year. I love Quincy. He's one of my favorite players. I just don't think he's ever going to play again.
Yeah. It's good. Let's see. What about Avery Williamson?
Avery Williamson, I love me some Avery Williamson. Now, it hurt me to watch him get hurt and C.J. Mosley get hurt because I would have preferred to have those two. I would prefer to have those two on the field at the same time, and I just don't see Joe Douglas wanting to spend 2 top 15 linebacker contracts on this team. Like, there's got to be some positional value in place. Like, I know a lot of us want to sign Jamal Adams, but if we're signing Jamal Adams, I'm sorry, I'm not paying 2 inside linebackers top 15 money. We played well enough without Avery as much as I want, but if we could trade him, like, if you could convince me that, like, hey, maybe a 3rd round, like our late 3rd round pick or a 4th round pick and Avery gets Trent Williams, okay, maybe I could get on board with that. Like, I would use Avery as a trade chip if possible. I don't think he's worth a whole lot because of what happened with his knee, but I think he's a good player. I think there's value in somewhere with, like, sending him somewhere. I don't know where that place is going to be, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay, so what do you think about, get this, what do you think about the Trent Williams situation? You want to trade for him?
No.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people are. I was watching a few videos. I won't say who, but I'm watching, I'm just like, man, I don't really agree with the whole Trent Williams thing. Like, it doesn't sit well with me. Like, he's good, but there's a lot of red flags when I'm just watching this whole thing going on, and it just doesn't make sense. Who do you want?
Isn't he old?
He's not that. I mean, he's going to be 32. So 32 is relatively young for an offensive lineman. But you got to think, too, DeBerkshire Ferguson, I'm pretty sure, retired at 32. So it's not like he ever winds up, it's not like it's uncommon that he could decline at that point. I mean, you have Jason Peters who plays till he's 38. You have Whitworth who's 36 or 37 right now. So there's options, I think, from an age perspective that say that he could potentially have better years ahead of him or more quality years ahead of him. I just don't particularly see this happening for the New York Jets, and there's too many red flags. It's not a player I want to roll the dice on. I think it's a player that the Browns should roll the dice on because they are closer to winning now.
Do you think we should re-sign Alex Lewis?
I absolutely think we should re-sign Alex Lewis. Alex Lewis should be top priority on our offensive line outside of the big free agents that we want to get. I think our if I'm ranking our wide receiver or our free agent needs, Brian Poole's number 1 for me. I would say Robbie Anderson's number 2, but that's kind of I don't want to say a distant number 2, but it's not as high priority for me. Jenkins would be up there, and then I would have Alex Lewis probably, right around there as well. I think Alex Lewis should definitely be be on the line. He should be competing at our left guard spot for next year.
And I'm happy that we're going to cut Trumaine Johnson.
Oh yeah, we already cut him. It's great. Dude, I'm going to jump on some more calls. Thank you so much for calling in. You have been ejected from the cockpit. Where's that chicken? Boom!
You're out of here!
There goes that chicken. I love that. That is a great thing.
Call from
Bernard from North Carolina.
6.
Bernard, what's up, brother? I'll get to your call in just a second. But guys, if you have not checked out the Discord link down below in the description, there is a question of the day. The Jets played the Baltimore Colts in 1969 for Super Bowl III. The Jets won 16-7. Who? No, sorry, not who. Where was that game played? Where was that game? The stadium that game was played in. Go over to the Jets Discord. You'll get yourself a chance to win a hat, a shirt, a mug, something like that from the Jets Talk store. But I'm going to raffle it off at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Bernard, brother, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Hanging in
All
there.
right, I'm glad I was able to get through. I know a little while ago I tried you and the lines were tight. I said, let me just keep trying.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I love having you call in. Do you work today?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what did you think? Because you work at an airport. So what did you think about the whole Quinnen Williams thing? Let me hear your take on stuff.
When I first saw it flashing across my phone, I took Friday off, had a medical appointment, and then when I saw it flash, what the hell? This guy, oh no, I had a bad feeling in my gut. I said, oh, he's in a lot of trouble. Because you see, I work down at the airport. It's sensitive, very sensitive area. Not only guns, but sharp objects,
Oh, yeah.
Ice picks or razor blades or anything, let alone a gun. I just hope he doesn't get in a lot of trouble for that.
Yeah, it sounds like he didn't.
I don't know if he's ever flown before.
Just a big old dummy. It's my thinking is that I'm hoping that the gun was in a locked case. It wasn't just thrown in a suitcase and whatever. He's lucky he doesn't have ammunition on him, because if he had ammunition on him, that's 3.5 years in prison. Now maybe he greased someone's wheels to not find the ammunition, but man, that is not good. You look real dumb.
When they were offers out there to trade him last year, I don't understand why the Jets didn't pull the trigger on that trade and go and recruit that first round pick. And what did you hear about that situation? They should have jumped on that.
So I heard about it, and initially I'm thinking, all right, the Jets should absolutely look to get some value from him because we have enough depth at the offensive line. Now let me pull up. I'm going to look at over the cap because there's a reason why the Jets did not trade him. And it's because the dead cap hit would be enormous. The Jets would be a $20 million dead cap hit. It's not feasible at all to trade this guy. You would have to get so much. You'd have to get a first round pick and probably a player. I don't even know. If you're losing $20 million, that's basically untradeable. Now maybe who knows? This is interesting. I think the Jets could. Yeah, I think that because rookie contracts are fully guaranteed, so I don't know if it's there's probably some threshold that you could cut them with, but I think I think what's interesting about this whole situation with the gun is that just like some other players who have gotten into some trouble, that could void his guaranteed money. Now, I would be very interested in seeing if the Jets were looking to move on from him because they no longer have that guaranteed money locked in. Sometime maybe they didn't include that clause in his contract, but I have seen that done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a shame.
Now, what do you think about the
I
Trent
think
Williams
I'm gonna go
situation?
Trent Williams, I'm a little iffy on it because I'm so fixated on this draft. I just ordered online my copy of Lindy Sports Draft.
Yeah?
So this is the time I really start studying and doing a little bit of research and getting into it. That's an excellent publication. I recommend that.
Oh, yeah?
Lindy's edition of the draft. It's a lot. It's loaded. It is loaded. It's not the typical draft magazine. It's really good.
I got to take a look at it. Right now I'm subscribed to Pro Football Focus, so I'll look at their draft guides. It's kind of... I say that I don't... Like, I take their stuff with a grain of salt, but I do find it interesting that they grade their run grade, their pass grade, their overall grade. So it kind of gives me some metrics to work with, but I don't necessarily trust everything that they have in there.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to study your video, and then you got to try to dig a little deeper.
Well, that's just it.
I guess I'm going to go on and jump into the 11th pick of the draft.
Sure, who do you want?
Before my time expires, I think if the 4 tackles are gone, I'm reserved to trade down.
I think so, too.
I'm hoping that Jerry Jeudy falls to us and that somebody really wants him and covers him. We can go off up that pick, and I think we can recoup a second and maybe an additional pick, move down, and maybe go on and take Ruggs. I'm not willing to reach for a tackle in the first round.
Sure.
I'm looking at Netney Neutral, the guard, in the second round. I'm also looking at the center, Tyler Padillas.
Sure.
And Caesar Ruiz. There's a couple of guys I'm looking at.
Yeah.
On the interior, on the inner part of this line. But we got to do some work one way or another. Not in that first round. You know, if the tackles are gone, I say that's fine. Go and take Ruggs if we trade down. Maybe in the second round, take a look at both a center and a guard. And I think that's going to do nothing but help us to some extent, you know.
If the Jets are sitting at 11 and those, say, 3 of the tackles are gone and we don't like the 4th one, I feel like that's more realistic than watching all 4 go in the top 10. But if that were to happen...
But the report, I'm on Wirfs. He's not really a left. He's more of a right.
I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people don't like Andrew Thomas. I have to reconsider myself because I'm
kind of shocked at Thomas, but Thomas was regarded only months ago as a stud.
Oh, yeah.
Top 5, 10 years back, top 5.
Bernard, I love you, but you're ejected from the cockpit. You ran out of time. Bernard, I'll talk to you next week, I'm sure. Bernard made some very good points. I would trade down. A previous caller prior to Bernard brought this up. The Jets could trade down possibly with the Broncos, who might be looking to move up for a wide receiver. Now, I think they're probably going to have enough wide receivers to choose from, unless they're dead set on someone. But if they want to come up and trade down, we'll slide back to 15. No problem.
Call from
Peter from Long Island.
Peter from Long Island. What's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, man, how's it going? First of all, let me say I love your channel. I'm like one of the few Jets people that I actually listen to because you seem to know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Not like these Facebook groups.
Oh, my God, dude. I've been a part of some Facebook groups where I'm watching. I'm just like, I was like, this hurts. I was like, I try to do my research if I can.
Especially when they share stories from Bleacher Report that have no sources whatsoever. It's just someone who doesn't follow the Jets speaking about the Jets.
Bleacher Report, fan-sided. I don't know if that's part of that or not, but there's a lot of really terrible publications, and it's.
I do like Matt Miller though from Bleacher Report.
I do like Matt Miller. I like Matt Miller.
Stuff, him.
I like Connor Hughes from The Athletic. I think he's really good. I mean, I always kind of like Rich Cimini.
Yeah, Chris is good. No Manish Mehta piece.
No, get him out of here. I'm not a big Meta fan at all.
I wanted to say something real quick. I knew Odell was going to be good before Odell. I knew J.J. Watt at the draft was going to be good. I knew Vontaze Burfict at one point. I wanted the Jets to draft him. He went on draft. We got him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything like that. There's just certain times I see certain people and I'm like, that guy.
It pops off the page. Dude, Vontaze Burfict popped off the page. He was just a head case.
Man. Yeah, punching people and stuff, but CeeDee Lamb. Man,
I love CeeDee Lamb. I hope.
Look at his.
I hope we have a reason to get him. I really do. I want CeeDee Lamb. I've wanted CeeDee Lamb.
Yards after the catch is just ridiculous.
He's DeAndre Hopkins 2.0.
You see him plan out moves.
He's so good.
So I know we need help, but who knows what's going to happen with free agency? Who the Jets really value and stuff. And but if anything, man, I would love to get CeeDee Lamb.
Dude, there's no player I love more in this draft than CeeDee Lamb. I love CeeDee Lamb, and I want a reason to get him. I have a very hard time taking CeeDee Lamb over a left tackle, though. That's kind of my gut feeling.
I saw a video. I think I said I saw a video. You said if the top 4 are gone,
yep.
Then when you would get them.
I
You
would.
said you didn't want Henry Ruggs or anything like that, but you wanted
I'm not.
CD.
I have nothing wrong with Ruggs. I have nothing wrong with Jerry Jeudy. I just look at CeeDee Lamb and I see this guy's got it. Like you could look at him.
Man.
I can see it plain as day. This guy is phenomenal. And like I'm even someone that has said, like, if say we were to trade Jamal, when I brought it up, I think in November, if we had traded Jamal and said, like, say the Cowboys had that mid 20 pick or so, and that's where you wound up going, I would take Justin Jefferson with that pick. I think Justin Jefferson is a phenomenal wide receiver. He pops off the page to me. I think he's better than Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs, and people are going to lose their mind on me about it, but like the guy looks like he just has it. Lamb's my guy.
Yeah, he looks over Jerry Jeudy. I hear Jerry Judy's name, but you see it with this guy. But as far as Jamal, I've hung out with him a few times. That's
cool. I really like Jamal. I bought his jersey last year, and I'm like, I would be.
People drink, and he doesn't do none of that. You know.
See, that's cool.
He's alpha. I think that like these other players that go out and are in the league, they look at that guy and they want to be on the same team as him and do in the same area as him. He's cool. He's cool, man. I'm telling you right now.
See, I don't know if you heard earlier in the chat, there was a guy that commented on one of my Facebook posts that said he was at a strip club and saw Trumaine Johnson and Darryl Roberts throwing money around. And like he went up to him and was like, "Oh, yo, Trumaine Johnson." And Trumaine Johnson was not happy that this guy recognized him in the strip club. But look, I want Jamal a lifetime Jet. I think we're going to pay him a ton of money. Yeah. He deserves a ton of money. He's a culture changer. I would rather roll the dice and lose with Jamal than trade him, watch him be successful elsewhere, and like wind up getting some mediocre pick that turns into a Darren Lee or a Quentin Coples or something like that. Would just kill me. We have a guy that's on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
At one point, that was the best in the league at his position. We have it again at a different position, and Greg Williams is using him. I'm not a fan of our coach, but I had to be honest. It might have been like me just sticking to my first initial thoughts and not giving him a chance.
Yeah.
Because real quick, man, not for nothing. Once Sam got a little healthy, we didn't look all that good.
Sure.
But we were actually winning games.
Yeah, look,
like, if Sam was there from the beginning, we would have made the playoffs. That's not even up for debate.
I think there's a shot.
Alvin sucks, but sheesh.
I think if Sam doesn't get mono, I think you probably win against the Bills. You win against the Browns. You probably put up a better fight against the Bengals. I don't know, man. The Bengals was a tough game to lose. It's tough to see the Jets get into the playoffs. We were 7-9, so 2 more wins, 9-7. I mean, look, maybe. I think with this next season, if we get 7 teams, the Jets have a shot at getting in. I think we're going to play significantly better. I don't think we're going to have the injuries that we had last year. With Adam Gase, I was very much against it. When we first signed him, I was like, you had Mike McCarthy. What'd you do?
Our record is what our record is,
Well, that's exactly it. And look,
Parcells says that.
You are what your record says you are, and I'm willing to give Gase another year. I'm okay with that. The injuries, the mono, there's a lot of issues. Not being able to help with the scouting process and tell the scouts who to look at, like that's irritating for me.
Players can do now.
Yeah, just like McCagnon fighting with him. That makes no sense to me, and I think there's something to be said to Peyton Manning liking Adam Gase, Ryan Tannehill liking Adam Gase, Jay Cutler liking Adam Gase, Sam Darnold likes Adam Gase. There's something there, dude. Thank you so much for the call, brother. I am ejecting you from the cockpit. That was a great call. It was very good. Drop some knowledge. I like it. Guys, if you've not signed up for the poll question of the day, down below in the description, there is a link to the Jets Discord. Go down there. The question of the day... I'm going to answer this phone call real quick. This is my buddy.
David Gangrene.
David, what's up, dude? Give me just a second. I'm just plugging this. Guys, jump down into the Discord down below. In January 1969, the New York Jets defeated the Baltimore Colts 16-7 to win Super Bowl III. Where was that game held? What stadium? Head down to the Jets Discord, go to the poll section, answer the question there, and you get yourself a chance to win a hat, a shirt, or a mug or something like that from the Jets Talk store. And I'll raffle that off at the end of the night. David, brother, what's good?
Well, first off, I can tell you that I just voted in that Discord. So
I like it. You might have a shot at it. It's a totally random raffle. I do not pick favorites in that.
We'll see about that. Second of all, we were talking about the signatures where
Yep.
you have your signature freak out and Matt
Mhm.
O'Leary has his signature quote.
Yep.
Now we just need signatures for me and Kyle, and Kyle has the beard now.
Well, see, that's just it. He's got a beard. Like when you look at anyone talking Jets on the internet, there's no beard quite like Green Bean's. Green Bean's got a magical beard. I'm pretty sure he's got like whatever Mangold puts in his beard. I'm pretty sure Green Bean does the same thing.
I still don't know how the hell you can actually pull off growing a beard. That seems hard as hell.
That's incredible. Well, you got to think really hard. When you think really hard, you think hairy thoughts, you wind up growing a little bit more hair. No, it's taken me a while, dude.
Right.
I could grow a halfway decent beard. I get a little patchy, like I'm like Irish and like not the best at growing hair on like this side. I get like a big old chin of hair though. That's you could tell like it gets darker right here.
Funny.
And I buzzed this morning. Whatever. What do you think? So David, if you guys don't know, if you've not tuned into the Talking Jets panel, me, David, Green Bean, and O'Leary talk a whole bunch of Jets topics tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I'm really excited for it. We were shooting some texts back and forth trying to figure out what we're going to talk about for tomorrow. I think we got Trent Williams, Quinnen Williams, and we'll probably have to throw in some other thing. We might talk free agency, I think. That seems like it's going to be a pretty big thing because I think the tampering period starts on Sunday? Monday, maybe?
Is it Sunday?
It might be Monday. It might be Monday, Tuesday. Because I think free agency starts.
It's probably gonna be Monday.
I think it's Monday, Tuesday. Free agency starts Wednesday. I think is how that works.
Right. Okay. But now that that's out of the way, as Matt O'Leary would say, now let's get into the stupidity. So Quinnen Williams is a dumb. I'm not gonna curse. I'm gonna try not to curse.
Moron. He's just like, what are you doing, dude? No one brings a gun to an airport. You're not a police officer. You're not Port Authority. Get the hell out of here. Leave your gun at home. What are you doing? If you are going to bring a weapon, if you're bringing a weapon,
dangerous and illegal, dude.
well, you can bring a gun to an airport. You can do that. You have to notify the TSA. You have to notify the plane or the airline you're flying on. It needs to be in a lockbox. You got to.
I mean, sure, but it's not, dude. Just leave the gun at home.
Well, that's just it's a handgun too. It's not like you're going on a hunting trip. Like you're flying probably home to. He's probably going to Alabama. They're saying ammo. It wasn't on him. So I wonder if it was in his check bag. Or if maybe he greased some wheels and then they didn't find the ammo on him. Like, oh, the Port Authority just got a nice little bump in pay for the day. I don't know. Hey, you know what? It wouldn't shock me.
Oh, wait. Hopefully it'll get cleared up soon. You kind of remember when we were.
Do you think?
Remember we were at the draft party last year? How I reacted when we drafted Quinnen Williams.
Dude, I was excited. I was excited. I was told I was getting the next Aaron Donald. Now,
yeah, I was told that too.
Here's this. You know what I heard? And this is 110% real, and you guys better listen very closely because it's very important. Quinnen Williams is a very serious man. He heard Sam Darnold needed weapons, and he goddamn brought his weapon to go bring it to Sam. That's what wound up happening. We needed weapons. Quinnen Williams brought them with him. That's what it was.
That is absolutely perfect.
It's a fact. I know it to be true because I believe it. That's what it is. I don't know, dude.
Right, so now that we got the stupidity out of the way, I mentioned this in my video the other day. I talked about the Trent Williams trade. I'm not trading for Trent Williams.
Yep.
If you wanted to do it, probably the best sort of time to do it would have been last offseason, when you were kind of molding your team a little more. But now knowing that you're pretty much going to have to nuke your offensive line and you're going to have to bring in new starters, you're not going to be able to rebuild an entire offensive line in one offseason. It's completely unrealistic. The best you could, I think the most realistic you'll come out of the offseason, the most realistic amount of linemen, you'll probably get maybe 2 new linemen. 3 would probably be a jackpot. I
think we're going to get 3. I don't know if we're going to hit on all 3. That's kind of my thinking. Like we're gonna bring in a center. We're going to bring in a left tackle. We're going to go after one of these guards. And those are the 3 positions. I think we're going to roll with Chuma Edoga on the right side. They're going to roll with Alex Lewis at left guard. And I think we're going to try and fill those other 3 slots, as best we can. Maybe we sign a free agent center. Who knows? I think, was McGovern's a center, I think, that's hitting the free agent market?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I like to get a center to also kind of have some competition with Jonathan Harrison. But let me just address this comment. Big Green, I wanted Josh Allen in the draft. Not Quinn. I wanted Josh Allen over Quinnen Williams.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of people wanted Josh Allen. I was against the Josh Allen thing because when I look at Josh Allen, I'm thinking, okay, he's playing he played phenomenally well. His stats were amazing in college, but he just ran around people all the time. So I'm thinking, he's probably not going to be able to do that as in the NFL. These guys are going to be faster. And look, he had a double-digit sack year, and I'm wearing egg on my face because I was okay with Quinnen Williams. Now, I was very much Nick Bosa trade down, then Quinnen Williams, but obviously none of those options held true, and we should have, in hindsight, probably signed Josh Allen. We maybe try to work out a deal with Leonard Williams. Maybe he stays, and then you have Leonard Williams and Josh Allen. Now all of a sudden you have your edge rusher, you have your interior pass rusher. That probably would have been a little more, probably would have made a little more sense.
Well, yeah, I absolutely agree. But back to the Trent Williams thing, it's not exactly ideal at this point to be trading for a 31-year-old left tackle who took a year off and coming off a tumor, and he's injury prone as well, and you're gonna have to give him a big contract too.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly really ideal to be trading for that much. I mean, if you want to get sort of a stopgap-ish left tackle, your best bet would be to bring back Kelvin Beachum. I think that he's also the best source of continuity for Sam Darnold, like stopgap continuity combination for Sam if you'd want to bring him back. So if you want to entertain that option, I would much rather bring back Kelvin Beachum on a more reasonable deal. I mentioned that in my video, as opposed to trading and paying out of your nose for a guy like Trent Williams. I mean, I just don't think it'd be ideal.
Yeah, look, I agree. I'm very much on the Kelvin Beachum or Jason Peters train. I think Jason Peters is a significant upgrade over Beachum, but you're only going to have him for a year. He's 38 years old, so you can't really expect much from him. Beachum, I want to say he's 32, 31 maybe. It's more of the status quo. You kind of know what you're getting. You're probably better off drafting a guy. Like I would still, if I get Beachum or Peters, I'm still drafting a tackle at 11. I would have a very hard time going against that.
You got to draft a tackle regardless, and I 100% agree with you on the whole CeeDee Lamb thing.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I think right now CeeDee Lamb will go top 10. He'll probably fall to a team like Arizona.
That's I'm hearing a lot of Cardinals fans like CeeDee Lamb. It's that or a tackle, I think. I think that'll be sort of what it comes down to.
I love CeeDee Lamb, but I think free agency is going to dictate that. So if you can actually get maybe 2 offensive linemen from free agency, say hypothetically speaking, you get a Thuney and a Glasgow,
yeah,
and then CeeDee Lamb is right there. Maybe I'll take CeeDee Lamb any day. But however, I think what I could possibly think about doing is I could bring back Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
I could sign one of the offensive linemen,
okay,
draft one of the offensive linemen, with the 11th pick,
mm-hmm,
and then I would actually go receiver in the later rounds like we discussed on the panel.
So I think if you were able to get, I think realistically, let's say Thuney doesn't want to stick it to the Patriots, the Jets aren't the highest offer, or he just doesn't want to play for us, I think Glasgow is a good option. So you plug him in at right guard. Now, you have Chuma Edoga staying at right tackle, I think, at least for next year. We spent a third-round pick on him. It seems like the Jets are pretty high on him, even though I don't think he played that great. But I think he showed, flashes in pass coverage at least, enough to warrant putting a little more time and energy into developing him. Center, I'm looking at probably the 3rd round or 2nd round. If Biadasz is there, I could see you wanting to take him. If Ruiz is there and you really believe in him, I'm okay with that. I'm taking the left tackle at 11. So you have the new left tackle. You got the guard, Alex Lewis at left guard. Center, if you can get center in the 3rd round, I would love to do that because I would love to get a wide receiver in the 2nd round. You're going to get a very good talent at wide receiver in that pick. It's going to be someone like Mims, Justin Jefferson. How many different guys? At the top of the 2nd round, yeah, there's someone is going to fall. I guarantee there's going to be a 1st-round talent at wide receiver. What receivers are there? Receivers going in the 1st round. You got Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Ruggs, T. Higgins.
Jefferson goes late 1st round.
Okay, T. Higgins, Jefferson, Mims.
I could see Mims and Higgins going to the 2nd round.
So that's 6 guys before the 48th pick that would have to go, and that's a lot of receivers. You really don't get more than 4 or 5 receivers going in a round during a really, really wide receiver heavy draft. And then even if those guys are gone, then you take the center, and then you go after Pittman or Antonio Gandy Golden or Claypool, the guy from Notre Dame. There's a lot of good receivers in this draft, and I would have a very hard time. I have a hard time going receiver in number one. I want a reason to take CeeDee Lamb. I really do, but
Agreed.
I don't see it.
I agreed. Like I think the offensive line's a much bigger priority, especially in the draft, than a receiver. I mean, we're not really one wide receiver away, but at the same time, like you still got to address receiver. So if you could find a way to address the offensive line to like give the Jets a reason to draft CeeDee Lamb, which I think could be very difficult to do,
sure.
Then by all means, give me the shot to draft CeeDee Lamb, or give me the shot to draft Jerry Jeudy. But you're gonna have to really consider your offensive line. Joe Douglas is offensive line heavy, and he's gonna want to really aggressively address offensive line. You got to protect your quarterback first, otherwise he can't utilize his weapons properly.
Now here, let's talk about this scenario. Let's say that we get the guard in free agency, maybe we get an edge rusher, and we're heading into the draft. The top 2, maybe 3 left tackles or top offensive tackles go. There is a 4th tackle. We are not particularly high on him, and Joe Douglas feels that he is a former offensive lineman. He is a good scout. He trusts his scouting department. He trusts everyone that he's brought in over the last year, and he says, hey, I know I can solve this offensive line outside of the first round. If that's how he feels, I can trust Joe Douglas right now, as much as it's against my gut instinct, and if he pulls the trigger on CeeDee Lamb, I'm all for it.
That's like I think Joe Douglas could play a little risk ball there, like with that scenario.
That's the only it's not like it's like McCagnon that doesn't have any sort of really good draft record or anything. Like we don't know what Douglas has, but he's drafted good offensive linemen.
Mr. Coffee.
Yeah.
Mr. Coffee. Let's his entire 2015 draft class and his entire 2018 free agent class are all gone, with the exception of Avery Williamson. Enough said.
Look, I am not happy with the whole McCagnon era. I will say this. I really like Jamal Adams. I really like Sam Darnold. And we probably don't get either one of them without him here. And he has a few decent picks. Like I think Bless Austin was a good pick. I didn't think it was necessarily a great pick. I thought it was an injury-prone player that you probably could have got with an undrafted pick. But he looks like he's going to be good. I mean, if he can stay healthy, he could be. I don't want to say number one cornerback just yet, but I mean he's trending in the right direction.
I agree. I mean, especially a guy coming off a serious injury, he stepped into that role and he had some solid plays. I mean, he's a big athletic guy. I mean, he made a lot of plays, especially man to man. He's a solid man to man corner. I think you could put him a couple of years under Greg Williams. He might be a little something.
I like that. David, you got anything else to say? I'm going to move on to another caller.
All right, well, before I get off the line, guys, make sure you check out my channel, Gangrene David. I just passed 2,000 subscribers not too long ago.
Yeah.
I did some videos again. Check this out at the Talking Jets panel. We are live tomorrow night, but also give Ryan the love he deserves. If it wasn't for Ryan, I wouldn't be having fun every Tuesday night, and I wouldn't be doing this. So, guys, check us all out. You guys are the best. We got the best Jet fans on YouTube. And Ryan, I will see you tomorrow night. Go Jets, man.
See you tomorrow, brother. I'll talk to you in the chat. Boom! Gangrene David, you are ejected from the cockpit. Where's my chicken? Where's my chicken? Where is it? Where is here? Boom!
You're out of here!
You're out of here. Good stuff, boys. Good stuff. Oh, boy, we got our boy Detonator 10.
Call from
Detonator 10.
Detonator 10, what's up, dude? Give me 1 second. I'm just going to plug this question one more time. Guys, if you have not tuned in to the Jets Discord, there is a link in the description down below. I'm going to give away a hat or a shirt or a mug or something like that from the Jets Talk store. I'm going to raffle it off at the end of this episode at like 10 o'clock or so. The question of the day: in January 1969, the New York Jets defeated the Baltimore Colts 16-7 to win the Super Bowl III. Where was that game played? What stadium was that played in? Head over to the Jets Discord down below. I'm going to raffle that off, so make sure you tune into that. You got about 20 minutes or so before I raffle that off. Detonator, what's up, dude? What's on your mind?
Not much. How you been?
Hanging in there. I'm just starting to go back to work. I just had my basically inaugural first day back today, so I was a little bit late coming back here. I had to drop my car off at the mechanic, but I'm back and I'm ready to talk some football.
Nice, yeah. I just had my work on Friday and Saturday. Goddamn.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, so, yeah, you say lineman at 11?
I think it's got to be lineman. I really do. I think there is no doubt in my mind that is where the Jets are going. I'd be very surprised.
So look at the recent NFL mock draft that I posted, which, I sometimes watch it, but sometimes I don't.
Sure.
And they actually have all 4 offensive linemen, the top 4 going in front of us.
Where did they have them going? I know McShay had 8, 9, 10 tackles going, and us passing on Andrew Thomas. Where did the other tackle go? Was it the Giants?
Andrew Thomas actually goes to the Browns. They have one goes to the Giants.
Okay, and then probably the Jaguars.
One going to the Cardinals.
And one to the Jags, probably.
No, Jaguars got Derek Brown. So
okay.
I think they had
maybe the Chargers. So the Chargers. This is a big thing. So the Chargers, they may not wind up going quarterback.
Herbert.
I've heard rumors they might try to go after Jameis Winston. If they go after Jameis Winston, then they're not going to draft a quarterback that high. They could go after one of those top offensive linemen. They just traded away their left tackle to Carolina to get the guard. So I could see them getting tackle, guard. You get Winston. You have your running back locked in Eckler. They're losing Melvin Gordon, but hey, you know what? That team's still pretty good. That defense is ferocious. If you plug in Jameis Winston and he can cut down on the turnovers because you're running the ball a lot, he's not the worst option.
Yeah. Yeah, so they had that happen. I'm like, all right, I don't see all 4 of them going, beforehand and stuff like that. And, I'm just thinking to myself, because they actually taking the second best cornerback. I forgot what his name is.
Oh, C.J. Hawkinson or something like that. Is that what it is?
I think the other
Fulton?
one. Henderson maybe.
Oh, Henderson. Sorry, that's what it was. Henderson.
Yeah. So they had
Hawkinson was the player last year.
Number 11. Taking him at number 11 instead of CeeDee Lamb and Judy.
I would be absolutely furious if we took a corner at 11 instead of helping out our offense and helping out Sam Darnold. I would go on a baby punching rampage. I'd be so furious. I would be absolutely livid. You got to take, if Lamb or Judy are there and all 4 tackles are off the board, go wide receiver and never look back.
Right. And everyone's like, okay, Henry Ruggs. I'm like, he ran fast. Cool. Everyone's like, oh, but it worked out for Robbie. I'm like, did it?
Yeah, did it? I don't know. He may not get paid that much. He may only get like $10 or $11 million. Look, I think I like Henry Ruggs. He's got massive hands. He's a better player than Robbie in college. I think you wouldn't be upset with Ruggs, but I do think
run maybe a route more than.
Well, see, this is my thing. I very much want CeeDee Lamb. I think he is a DeAndre Hopkins clone. I really think that's the kind of player you're going to get. I think he's possibly similar to a Michael Thomas. Like, I really think this guy is going to be phenomenal, and I would be very upset if the Jets went Ruggs over Lamb if the two were there and they had to take wide receiver in the first round.
Yeah, I really like Judy, however, in my opinion. And
Judy's probably he's probably a safe option. I think he's a very good route runner. I think, it's hard for me to look at Lamb and look at Judy and look at Ruggs the same way because Ruggs and Judy are playing on the same team. Kind of like how Jefferson's got a little bit of a knock because he's got that other top receiver that's going to come out next year. Both the LSU and Alabama wide receivers they're going to be all first-round picks. Lamb, I don't necessarily know the wide receivers on that team, but I know for a fact CeeDee Lamb looked legit the entire year. And I would definitely be all in on getting him if we settle up the offensive line, of course, or if all the offensive tackles go before us.
Are you not skeptical to the fact that, not skeptical, but did you take into factor how, he had Joe Burrow throwing to him and everyone else in the offense was still firing on all cylinders?
So that's Justin Jefferson. CeeDee Lamb was with Jalen Hurts, Oklahoma.
Oh, my bad. I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's who I really like Lamb. I really think, he didn't play in the SEC. I could see people knocking him for that. That's all right. But I really think the eye test, at least like for me, is it's there. I trust CeeDee Lamb to be a good player.
Yeah, no, yeah, I meant to say Justin Jefferson by that one. Yeah, no, yeah. See, I mean, I really like them. I like both Judy and Lamb. So like,
Yeah, it's
throwing it up,
you're splitting hairs really.
Right. So like when I see people getting arguments that like, and Instagram is like pointless, not gonna matter in 20 years, and just like, just like, oh, but he's such a generational talent. I'm like, yeah, I understand, but like, what about like you can make arguments for like, why we should get offensive linemen and I have to see both sides of this. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say complete like offensive line, if 4 of them are gone before us. If 4 of them are gone, that gap between 4 and 5 is pretty big on the drop-off of talent. Not going to say it's like the biggest thing ever, but you can still get a starter out of it, but it's not like a prime time nice starter and stuff like that. I think, if you get a nice wide receiver like CeeDee Lamb's going to, do great things, and so will Judy. I think you're just better off that way. Now people are like, he still needs time to throw the ball to said people, right? And that's why we have to see what we do in free agency. I don't like picking mock drafts until after free agency usually, because once free agency hits,
that's definitely look. It changes a lot. That's why anytime I ever did a mock draft, and even one of the things I'm big on with mock drafts is, especially with the Jets, when you're sitting at 11, you can kind of piece together a top 10 picks beforehand, because I could say, oh yeah, I want the Jets to take the top left tackle and at number 11, and I can be like, Herder, that's great, but you have to take into account the 10 other picks beforehand, as well as what's going to happen in free agency to sort of figure out what's going to happen at number 11. Dude, you got 10 seconds.
Yeah. I really like your content, good hairline, good jokes, love your memes. Bye everybody.
I love it. Detonator 10, you are awesome.
You're out of here!
So you got 1 ejector seat. I'm going to give you a 2nd ejector seat because it was that good. That's I need to come up with a little graphic or something when I really like what a caller says. Because when you fluff me up a little bit, just rub my ego a little bit. Just a little.
Call from
Mike, NY Sports MC.
Mike, brother, what's up, dude? How you doing tonight?
How's it going, Ryan? Doing well.
Hanging in there. Guys, if you don't know Mike from NY Sports MC, go check him out. His new YouTube channel. He's right around that 100 subscriber threshold right now. He puts out some pretty good content. What's on your mind tonight?
Appreciate it. So I just want to kind of talk about the Trent Williams thing, but I wanted to preface it by saying that I'm a lifelong suffering New York fan, obviously with the Jets, the Mets, and the Knicks. Right?
See, why would you do that to yourself? Someone asked me who I wanted to have as my other teams. I'm a Jet fan for life. That is my thing. And then they're like, oh, well, you got to be a Mets fan, right? My dad was a Mets fan. Like, people are saying, oh, Islanders, things like that. Well, I didn't pick the Jets. I can pick my other teams. I'm not picking like the duds of the world. Like, I want to see the Mets win. I have nothing against the Mets. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm a Ranger fan, outside of the Jets. But look, I'm a diehard Jet fan. Don't get it twisted.
So where I'm going with that, besides the fact that they've all been pretty bad for most of my life, is the fact that it's more of a New York culture thing, where the biggest issue with the teams are the lack of patience.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And wanting that quick fix. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're trying to do with Trent Williams. You're going to trade a pick to get him. Mm-hmm. I know what you said. I agreed 100%. I would love to get him if it was like a 4th-round pick.
Sure.
I really wouldn't even want to do a 3rd.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to pay this guy as well. He's getting older. He's had a year out. Mm-hmm. He has not been healthy throughout his career. Mm-hmm. And it's like you're just going for that quick. The guy's 31, 32 years old.
Yeah.
Well, we can sit back at 11, take our left tackle for the next decade, and continue to build this team the right way.
Yeah.
And keep trying to build the team in one offseason to get really close to the playoffs, like we did with Fitzpatrick, like we did with McCown. And it's like, why can't we build it for sustained success? That's how these other teams do it.
With McCown and Fitzpatrick, the one thing I'll say there, and I'm going to have to go back because I don't remember exactly, but I think those guys were signed because there were not viable options at quarterback for us. Now, you can say, hey, the Jets drafted Hackenberg. They should have cut bait immediately and taken Mahomes or Watson, and I can be 100% behind that. I think if Maccagnan and Bowles knew Hackenberg was not good, and they passed on those two quarterbacks because they didn't want to look bad. That is by far the worst thing you could ever possibly do for your franchise, and I hope that's why they're gone.
Right. And I mean, I'm all for, look, hey, you got to get some stopgap guys. You got to get some guys, veteran leadership that can kind of teach these young guys. Mm-hmm. That's why I know you've said it. I've said it. I think David just said it when he was on. Mm-hmm. Bring back Beecham on a one-year cheap deal. He's a great locker room guy. He does a lot for the community.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to have to worry about him bringing guns to the airport, right?
Nope, I don't think so. Fingers crossed, at least. You never know. I didn't think Quinnen Williams was going to do that, but he's a big old dummy.
Yeah. So it's like, just bring him back. He already knows the team. He already knows the system. Let him be your stopgap. Obviously, he's not as good as Trent Williams has been, but he's shown to be healthy. I think that he's just, a lot more reasonable. You get him on a one-year deal. He doesn't, he's probably not going to want the extension like Trent Williams is going to want. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the way you do it. Just bring back some of these guys and then build through the draft.
I agree. I would definitely take Beecham back. I think he's younger and has, some upside still. Jason Peters is who I've been rolling with right now. He's older, yes. I was on the Roger Saffold train last year. I wanted him from the Rams in the worst way. He goes to the Titans. Titans wind up having the number one rushing team in the league. And, yeah, that's partly due to that whole offensive line as a unit. But I think Roger Saffold was a big part of that. And I think we should have brought him in. We should have replaced whoever it was going to be at left guard. And, I mean, we had Osemele, I guess, but I very much would have wanted Saffold. I'm not afraid of age for the most part if it's a short-term deal. Like Jason Peters, 38 years old, has the connection with Douglas. He's played better than Trent Williams in the last few years. You're only going to get a year out of him, maybe two if he really balls out. But I think you still take the tackle at 11 if you bring in Peters or Beecham.
Right, and that's the thing. You could even sign him to pretty much a 2-year deal, but it's a one with an option for the second.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You're not giving up a draft asset to get him. You're not giving a longer commitment to him like you would have to do for Trent Williams.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's you have to look at your assets and use them wisely. And I just don't think spending what could be a second-round pick on Trent Williams makes any sort of sense for the New York Jets when you have to pay him $16 to $18 million a year. Look, he's going to want a top left tackle contract. He's already paid a top 10, and he says he wants more money. So it just doesn't make sense to me why the Jets would do this unless they really believe, hey, our only chance to win a Super Bowl is with Sam on his rookie contract. We're going balls out right now. If we can get Trent Williams for 3 more years while Sam's on his rookie deal, I mean, I guess you could talk me into it. I think there's ways to do it. I'm just not trading a second-round pick for him. I just don't think it's worth it.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to go for him, you have to give him a new deal. You can't do what the Giants are about to do with Leonard Williams and trade for a guy to let him walk. Right?
Well, so I don't think he's going to walk. I heard rumors, and I'll update my video a little bit that I made yesterday. I made a video about how there was this guy, Brandon Stevens, that was talking about the Giants having a deal in place for Leonard Williams, but they're going to wait till free agency starts so they don't give up the 5th-round pick. They give up the 4th-round pick. That was proven to be a fake account, which is sort of what I sort of talked about. He didn't have the blue check mark next to his name or anything. But I do think, it would be a wise move by the Giants. I just don't think it would be a wise move by Leonard Williams in his camp. I think he's going to get transition tagged. I think they'll pay him whatever that contract winds up being. It would probably be $12 million, $13 million on the transition tag. Give another team the ability to sign him, and you get the ability to match. They have so much money, they're going to be able to match any deal if they do want to keep him, but I don't think any other team's really going to go too crazy with that.
Right. But what I was getting at with that is if you're going to trade a draft pick for Trent Williams and then give him a big deal, why don't you just give the big deal to Thuney?
You got it.
6 years old.
You got to go guard, right? I think. Thuney's number 1, Glasgow's number 2 for me. Those are my top 2 guys in free agency right now. And then after that, it would be an edge rusher. I think offensive line's got to go first, and I just think the value at number 11 with left tackle is there. Just do it. Just make the pick. It's the obvious pick. Everyone wants it. It just makes too much damn sense.
Because then even with Thuney and Glasgow, they are answers for the long term because they're still in their mid-20s. They're not 31, 32 coming off a year where they sat out, brain cancer, tumors. They haven't played a full season in how long, right? So I'd rather spend the money on them, keep the draft pick, and draft a guy on a rookie deal, help out your salary cap even more.
Yeah.
So I'm not for trading for Trent Williams at all.
Yeah, no, I think I can say with 110% confidence that I would definitely pass on Trent Williams.
So yeah, and then back to what I was mentioning before. If I asked in the chat if you had checked out Damon Arnett, you asked what round was he projected to
Yeah,
go.
where are you thinking he's going to go ish?
He was originally projected to go in the second from all the drafts I was seeing, but because he did run a 4.56, it looks like now he may slide into the third round.
Okay. I can get on board with a third round corner. I really can. I could, if you told me we could go left tackle, wide receiver, and then maybe we don't like a center that's sitting right around 3. We take the cornerback, and then maybe a little bit later we take the center. Like I could live with that. I think you were actually the one that brought up that I recognized for the first time when you said it was Hennessy, the brother from. Isn't he? He's our long snapper, I think, right?
Our long snapper, yes.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought because he's probably going to be available in that late 3rd, 4th round. He's not. I don't think he's as much of a lead pipe lock, but bringing in a family member isn't the worst plan. I think Van Jefferson's an interesting option at wide receiver. We have his dad as our wide receivers coach right now, so I mean, I'm not against the whole family dynamic. I think there's some good there. Now, when you cut people, that's when it starts getting a little dicey and maybe some feelings get hurt. But I think that's an interesting route the Jets could take if they wanted to pass on center early on.
Yeah, so what I've heard about Hennessy and the research I've done on him is the biggest knock on him is he's not the biggest, strongest of guys.
Yeah.
But he is very, very smart. He gets his line in the right calls. He knows the offenses in and out and that he's played in. And that, to me, is probably the most important thing when it comes to center. He has to be the communicator. He has to help out Sam Darnold. Because the whole seeing ghost games, nobody was picking up a block.
No,
we had no idea where they were coming from.
Now, I think Khalil was Khalil in there for the ghost game? Was that one? That was week 6.
He was, yes.
I'm not exactly sure if he was, but the team played significantly better with Harrison under center than they did with Khalil. And I'm okay with if you want to roll the dice and maybe not spend a high pick on a center because you like what you see in Jonathan Harrison and you want to give him competition maybe with Hennessy, you could talk me into that. I think I could sort of get on board. I think Harrison has earned the right to at least compete and stay on the team at center. You could certainly upgrade, but I think you could talk me into it.
Right. No, I definitely think he deserves the right to compete for it. One of the thoughts I had, too, is do you think he could potentially, if we did bring in a higher center, do you think Harrison could compete at maybe the guard spot with Lewis? Do you think he has that ability to potentially move over?
I would like to. I'm so bad with trying to move players at different positions. I always thought Trumaine could slide into guard if we decided to go with a different tackle. But Harrison playing guard, yeah, I think there's probably something to it. I would consider it for sure, especially if we got a really good center. I would like to keep Harrison. I would like to keep Lewis. I think those guys have earned the right to continue, and I think Chuma Edoga, we've invested a 3rd-round pick into him. I think we should at least see it out a little bit longer than maybe replace him right away with a Jack Conklin that's going to cost you a ton of money. I would rather upgrade the guards that are way worse right now than maybe right tackle.
The thing with Harrison is it seems like he's just a great locker room guy. He works really, really hard. Because if you hear, I heard rumors that, well after the fact that the team was not happy that Khalil came in. They thought that Harrison earned the job, that he worked very hard, and they did not like how that played out. The fact that he was just, he had worked so hard to be the starting center and was playing well, and I guess in camp, and then was kind of just thrown to the side by this guy coming out of retirement.
Yeah, look, I think there's definitely something to that. I don't hate Joe Douglas for trying that move. We didn't address center in the draft. We didn't address center in free agency. I wanted Mitch Morris last year. I wanted Paradis. Those were the 2 guys I think you should have looked at. in free agency. The Bills wound up getting Mitch Morse. They had a great offensive line this past year. They had a really good, stout run game. And I think the Jets could have benefited from that. If you were going to bring in a Le'Veon Bell, why wouldn't you invest in the offensive line? You knew our offensive line was Swiss cheese, and you ignored it for however long.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing. Like, Douglas knew that he was in a tough spot.
Hold on. Wait.
Free agency.
I'm not ranting at you, but David Jamal just got me fired up in the chat. He said, what is with Jets talking Chuma Edoga? He's in love with this dude. I'm not in love with Chuma Edoga. I'm not in love with Chuma Edoga at all. The only reason I like Chuma Edoga is because we spent a third-round pick on him. It takes some time for offensive linemen to develop, and based on the amount of priorities and money that you have, I want to get an edge rusher, I want to get a guard, and I want to get a wide receiver in free agency. Give me some cornerbacks and re-sign some of our own players, and I don't think you're going to have the money to get a right tackle, and I don't think you're going to get it upgraded right now. Give Edoga one more shot. I don't care. Okay, sorry. Rant over. I'm going to let you go for one more thing, because then I'm going to jump to one more call before I raffle off this shirt.
Yeah. The last thing I'll go in, because you just mentioned him, Conklin, I really don't want him. I think you're going to have to pay him top dollar, and he was average to below average as a pass blocker last year. We need to protect Sam. I don't want to pay top dollar for a guy who is so much better as a run blocker than pass blocker and so much weaker in one area. So that's just my take on that. I think it's too much money for somebody that's not at least above average in both of those categories.
I agree. Look, I think Conklin would be a big upgrade over Edoga. I just don't think, for the money, I think we could upgrade other positions more, and it would benefit our team in the long run. Like, at least if someone rushes off Edoga's side, Sam knows Edoga. He knows if he can put up, hold on to that block, or at least he can see the pressure coming at his face. Get the left tackle, get the high-priced guard, get us a pass rusher. Let's move on and take flight. Thank you, Mike from New York Sports MC. Check his YouTube page out. I am... Oh, what'd I do? I hit something. I'm trying to call my buddy. Let's see if he answers. Does he answer? Jazz hands. Come on! Grandpa Mark, pick up the damn phone. It's the second week I'm trying to call him, and he's not going to pick up the phone on me.
Please leave your message for...
Grandpa Mark, I tried. All right, guys. So we have 5 minutes left. I'm going to close the phone lines. If you have not voted, I guess it's going to be too late. The shirt and hat and mug. The question of the day was, where did the Jets play Super Bowl III? What stadium? The answer is the Orange Bowl. We had a bunch of people get that right. If you guys can list off, give me 3 people to list off numbers between 1 and 10. I'm going to add up 3 of those numbers. I'm going to raffle off some of these things. And then one of you guys can pick a shirt, whoever I choose. So we got a 6. We got an 8. And we got a 9. All right, so we got, 15, 23. So we got to count 23. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. No way! No way! That's not, hold on. You know who just won? And I said he's not going to win because I'm going to do God damn it. Gangrene David wins. David, you won the shirt or the hat or the mug. Damn it. I really, not that I care if you win or not, but I really thought I'm counting the names, and 23 winds up landing right on David. So David, you wind up winning the hat, the shirt, or the mug or whatever. Jump over into the Jets Talk store. Shoot me a text or something. Let me know what you want. Guys, this was a pretty good chat. We have a whole bunch planned for tomorrow with the Talking Jets panel. We got, we're going to talk Trent Williams more. We're going to talk free agency. We're going to talk, what else? Free agency, Trent Williams, Quinnen Williams. We got a whole bunch of things to talk about tomorrow. So if you guys want to get all our reactions on everything that's going into this Jets offseason, tune in because it's pretty fun. We have a lot of fun with this, and you can feel the chemistry. You can feel the love of the 4 people on this panel. That's what's going to happen. Guys, we got 3 minutes left. I want to see, let me see, where are we at on YouTube likes? Because if I get over 100 likes, we're only at 49 likes. Guys, we got 107 people in here. Drop a like on this video. And I should have been preaching this earlier on. Because if we wind up getting the 100 likes on, I think it's this video and maybe one more. I think it's 2 videos that we need to get it on. Then this is a great thing. If we get 2 more videos, 2 more live streams with 100 likes, I get to put Mario from #sports through a table. And that would be fantastic. I would love to put Mario through a table. And for you guys that don't know Mario, he is from #sports, him and Paul. And he is like 6'2" or 6'3", and I am 5'9". I am not very tall. This guy is a big motherfucker. And I want to put him through a table. So smash the like button. Let's get it up to 100 if you guys can get it. This would be amazing. If you want to see a Bills fan go through a table the way he deserves to go through a table, with some jet firepower, my massive muscles, hit the like button. Guys, that's going to be it for me tonight. We have a whole bunch planned for tomorrow. So, this is Jets Talk signing off. Fasten your seatbelts, put your tray tables in their upright and locked positions. Men, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for flying with me. Peace out, J-E-T.